Should you be getting hypnosis because of your sugar and carb cravings? Picture this. I was by the pool, ready to switch off. I didn't really feel like chatting, but there's this part of me, which I'm sure you have too, which is just wanting to be nice to people. And I had this really incredible conversation with a lady that I'm going to share today. Welcome to the What's Eating You podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Giorgio, and I'm a clinical psychologist. Now, I wanted to share this episode because quite often we can get so fixated on our own bodies, especially when we're in a public setting such as a pool, that we forget about connection around us. So, in today's episode, I want to share a poolside conversation I had with a woman I met while she was on holiday. And this turned into an unexpected lesson about two things. Number one, why labeling yourself as having a problem or having an addiction can often lead you to miss the basics of what you're really needing. And two, how obsessing over your body can block you from connection, opportunity, and action. So here's what happened. I was just relaxing. I think it was on a Sunday last week, and I went out by the pool, and a lot of people are on holidays around where I live. And I wasn't planning on getting into conversation, and I just sort of blocked out. But then I went into the pool. It was quite cold, and we got chatting, and it was a lady with her husband, and they were lovely, lovely people from New Zealand. Anyways, we got chatting, and the point I wanted to first raise is if I was really embarrassed of my body, if I didn't go into the pool, I probably wouldn't have even had this conversation. And this conversation led to a really nice interaction. It led me to figure out that this woman had issues with her relationship with food, like all women do. And she was actually interested in my retreat. So I got her email address, I got her details. So never underestimate the connections and the opportunities you can make when you're not obsessing over your body and how you look. Think of any cool connection you've made. Maybe you've been on holiday, maybe you've been at a work event, and when you're not so fixated on yourself and, oh my God, they don't like me and people think I'm weird, you can actually have a good time. So this is your reminder that while you're stressing about how you look and your cellulite at the pool and your body, you might be really missing out on connections, conversations, and opportunities that can happen with the people around you. So this is your reminder. When you're out and about, look around and talk to people. Put yourself out there. Go by the pool. Go out to a theater, to a musical. Talk to people. Stop thinking so much in your own head about yourself. Because what happens is people start to narrate what's going on rather than being present. I'm so awkward. I'm socially awkward. I'm anxious. I don't know what to say. I'm not interesting. But that's not what is even really happening in the situation. No one is looking at your body. No one is thinking about you being awkward. You're thinking that about yourself. And the more you think these things about yourself, the more awkward you're actually going to be because guess what? You're not being fully present. So that is my first reflection of this is look around, connect, especially when you feel the most vulnerable and insecure. I have met some of the greatest people. I've had some of the greatest conversations with strangers that I met by pool in Bali, by pool where I live. And it all started with an opportunity to open my eyes and look around and smile. But too often, we externalize our own securities about our body. And we often think that other people are thinking those insecurities about us, when the truth is they couldn't care less. They're just here to have a good time. So that's what I want you to first do is step outside of the negative thoughts about yourself and talk to people, because this is how we build a better body image. We step outside of our body insecurity and we just have a chat to people who are around. So if you're going on holiday soon, because I know a lot of people who listen to this podcast have a holiday planned, that's your homework task. Are you using your phone to distract from your emotions? Maybe you feel overwhelmed and you just want an escape. Doom scrolling is really common, but it might actually be doing worse for you than it is helping you. That's ADHD and you're not alone. ADHD Journey is a brand new course and community that gives you short weekly lessons, printable tools, and a live group session with me once a month. So now you can stop scrolling and start getting control of your life. Use the code ADHDVIP for your 50% off in your first month, but only for a limited time. The link is in the show notes below. Let's work with your brain, not against it. Now, the second point of this podcast. This woman started sharing her relationship with food struggles. And I think she asked me what I did, and I was telling her about food freedom, and she said, I did hypnosis. I did hypnosis to stop sugar and carb cravings. And as you can imagine, there were so many things that went through my mind that I want to say. I always embrace curiosity. And I just naturally asked, and I said, what makes you feel that you need hypnosis for a sugar and carb addiction? And she's like, I always go for carbohydrate options. And I said, what's wrong with that? And she said, and she couldn't really give me an answer. She just said, I order Uber Eats. It's new in New Zealand. We haven't had it. And the app tells me how much money I'm saving by ordering Uber Eats. I'm thinking, gosh, it's so clever, right? When you order Uber Eats, it's like, wow, you saved this much money. But how much money would you save if you didn't have Uber Eats? And I said, look, I'm not trying to give you any advice, but can you just share with me, do you currently have a food structure? Do you eat breakfast? Do you have regular meals? And she's like, no, I get really busy at work and I skip meals and I try to eat 2 meals a day. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, no wonder your brain is craving sugar and carbs. You're basically not eating enough. Your brain's probably always thinking about food. And she labeled herself as being addicted to sugar and carbs. And I gently suggested to her, I said, look, if you don't mind me saying, what if you don't have an addiction to sugar and carbs? What if your body is simply crying out for energy? What if it's not about sugar? Maybe you just need a bit of a food structure. Have you found that having breakfast helps? And she said, yeah. When we've been here on holiday, like we're eating breakfast every day, we're walking everywhere. And I said, okay, so what's life like back home? Or we don't really walk anywhere, etc. So here's the thing, so many people are looking for that fix. I need hypnosis because I've got an addiction to sugar. I know this because I did that. I actually had hypnosis done to me because I thought I had a sugar addiction. I'm like, I can't stop eating sugar. I need hypnosis. And I had 2 sessions of hypnosis. And I have nothing against hypnosis. I think it's great. But I had an eating disorder. I didn't have a chocolate addiction. I couldn't stop eating chocolate because I never gave myself permission to eat chocolate. So of course, when I ate it, I would binge on it. So if you're someone who thinks, I just have no control, I'm addicted to sugar, I'm addicted to carbs, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Number 1, do you have a routine when it comes to food? Do you follow a food structure? The answer is no. There's problem number 1. Number 2 is, do you have an Uber Eats problem? Genuinely, there are a lot of people who order Uber Eats far, far more than they would like. And if the answer is yes, then we need to ask why. Is it a I don't have food in my house problem? Is it a I don't know what to eat problem? What is the Uber Eats solving? And number 3 is, am I actually eating enough balanced meals? Am I actually eating sugar, carbs, fats, and proteins? Because if you're having enough of everything, if you're having whole foods and soul foods, I guarantee if you follow a food structure with whole foods and soul foods, You are not going to be having these episodes of binge eating on sugar. And if you are, then it's usually a nervous system regulation issue, which I'll get to. So, a little bit about hypnosis, because I know you're probably curious and you're probably wondering, tell us about hypnosis, Steph. What is it? Now, hypnosis is not the same as being hypnotized. And I know that's confusing. It's not mind control, it's just a deep state of relaxation with positive suggestion. It's a state of focused attention where you're more open to suggestion. Research shows it can help with pain, anxiety, and changing some habits. Now, I've had friends who have done hypnosis to quit smoking, and they absolutely swear by it. But they also really wanted to change. They were ready to change. Now, here's the thing. Hypnosis isn't going to teach you how to build a food structure. It's not going to prep your meals for you or regulate your nervous system. Yes, it might put some positive suggestions deep down for you to rethink your food decisions before you make them, but it's not going to fix a poor relationship with food, which it seemed like this was something this woman had been struggling with for a long time. It's like you're wallpapering a crumbling wall. You're just kind of patching it up. Now, the second thing I want you to do is reframe addiction. Oh, I've got an addiction to scrolling. I've got an addiction to fast food. It's so easy to call ourselves addicted or addicts, right? We all do it. But often, what looks like an addiction is actually just your biology. If you think you're addicted to sugar, it's because your body is just trying to get energy in the quickest way possible. And there's different reasons for this. If you're not eating food regularly, your brain will naturally crave fast fuel like carbs and sugar. It doesn't mean you're addicted. It actually means you're underfueled. So before judging yourself and labeling yourself, why do I always go for the chocolate? Why am I addicted to sugar? Ask yourself, am I genuinely meeting the basic needs when it comes to food? Am I getting enough carbohydrates, fats, proteins, psychological satisfaction for food? And this is the free framework that I teach inside Food Freedom. Number one, the F is food structure. R is regulate. E is enhance your thoughts. And E is enhance your body image. So the food structure is 3 meals, 2 to 3 snacks. The R is regulate your nervous system, because we usually order Uber Eats when we're stressed and when we're not organized. And organization comes into food structure. So that's why we target all of that in module 1. And the third thing is empowering and retraining your thoughts. If you walk around saying, I'm an addict, I have no control, I'm addicted to sugar, you're never going to change your behavior. It's not the behavior that needs to change. It's the identity. If you're always like, I'm a failure, I can't stick to anything, I'm a grown woman, I should be able to do this, you are never, ever, ever going to be set free, because you can't change from a place of criticism. Imagine you go your whole life criticizing your child. You put them down. How are they going to grow up? Probably not with a very good mindset. Yet you expect their behavior to change. You can't expect your behavior to change around food unless you change your beliefs and mindset around food. You don't need another deficit. You don't need another diet. You don't need to go on a cut. You need to go on a cut with your negative thoughts. So this is where the real change happens. And if you want help with this, my last Food Freedom is running at the end of September for 2025. Now, I want to leave you with 2 takeaways. Number 1 is don't mislabel your cravings as addictions if you're not even meeting your basic needs of structure and energy. Number 2 is don't let your body fixation shut you off from connection. You never know what doors might open for you. Just by laying next to a pool in your bathers, you might make your new best friend. So sometimes the very thing you think keeps you safe, which is staying small, staying home, hiding behind baggy clothes, is what actually keeps you stuck. The well-being tip of the week is notice one moment where you'd normally hide in your body thoughts instead of choosing connection. I want you to smile, say hello to someone, and ask a curious question. You might be surprised what flows from it. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, let me know on Instagram, tag this episode, send it to a friend that you love who you feel really needs to hear this, and I'll see you in the next episode. Did you know by taking 2 seconds to leave a rating or a review, you help me get the podcast out to more listeners just like you who could really benefit from the information? I appreciate all your support and thank you for tuning in.